In the small, peaceful city of Giri, there was a girl named Lisa. She was a high school senior, known for her beauty and intelligence. Lisa was so elegant that she almost looked like a princess from a storybook. But despite her beauty, she was always busy with her schoolwork. She never caused trouble, never gossiped, and never wasted time. Some students didn't even know she existed because she was always quiet, reading or studying. But the teachers? Oh, they loved her. Every teacher in the school wanted Lisa to answer questions in their class because when she spoke, it made them feel like they were the best teachers in the world. Now, in the junior class, there was another girl named Bola. Bola was not just beautiful, she was extraordinarily pretty. Her skin was fair and smooth, like polished glass, and her eyes sparkled like the morning sun. Every senior student wanted to be her friend. Even the boys and girls in her class tried to get close to her. But guess what? Bola didn't want to be friends with any of them. It was the most confusing thing in the school. Some students tried giving her gifts, expensive pens, cute notebooks, and even chocolates. But Bola didn't accept any of them. No one understood why. Even when people tried to talk to her, she would just smile softly and walk away. One day, something strange happened. Bola chose a friend. During break time, in the middle of the noisy classroom, Bola walked up to a very normal girl named Nene. Nene was not as popular or as beautiful as Bola, but she was smart and kind. She was just a regular girl who loved reading her books and eating snacks. Bola walked right up to Nene's desk, leaned in, and said, "Hi, let's be friends. I like you." The whole class froze. Silence. Nene's eyes widened. Her mouth hung open in shock. She thought she was hearing things. Was Bola really talking to her? Bola smiled and waved her fingers in front of Nene's face. "I'm talking to you, baby girl." Nene finally blinked and quickly nodded. "All right, let's be friends." Immediately, the whole class exploded with whispers. "Why her? What's so special about Nene? This doesn't make sense." But Bola didn't care. She sat beside Nene and started chatting like they had been best friends forever. Lisa's choice. Meanwhile, Lisa had something on her mind. In their school, senior students could choose a junior student as their school pet or school daughter, a younger student they could mentor, guide, and study with. Lisa was the type of person who always planned everything carefully, and now, she had decided she wanted to choose someone. After thinking for a long time, she made her decision. She wanted Nene. It was shocking because every junior student prayed to be Lisa's school daughter. Lisa was smart, hardworking, and responsible. Anyone she chose would become special. But Lisa ignored everyone and only wanted Nene. One afternoon, during lunch, Lisa walked up to Nene's table. Nene was eating her food when she suddenly felt a shadow over her. She looked up slowly, and there stood Lisa. The air felt heavy. The entire cafeteria became quiet. Lisa smiled softly and asked, "How are you doing?" Nene almost choked on her food. She coughed, grabbed her water, and drank quickly. Her hands shook as she placed her spoon down. Everyone in the cafeteria was staring. Some students gasped. Why was Lisa talking to Nene? Nene cleared her throat and stammered, "I am fine." Lisa nodded, then said, "Can we talk?" The suspense in the cafeteria was unbearable. Everyone's hearts pounded as they watched. Even Bola, sitting across from Nene, raised an eyebrow. Nene swallowed hard. What did Lisa want? She slowly nodded, and Lisa motioned for her to follow. As they walked out of the cafeteria, whispers followed them. Nene's heart was racing. Why did Lisa, out of all the juniors in the school, want to talk to her? And most importantly, what did Lisa really want? Nene's heart was racing with excitement as she stood in front of Lisa. She couldn't believe the almighty Lisa was talking to her. She blinked and asked, "Are you talking to me?" Lisa chuckled softly. "I'm standing right in front of you, aren't I?" Nene's face lit up with joy. "I'm fine. Is there anything I can help you with?" Lisa shook her head. "No, my dear. I just wanted to say I like the way you're very serious with your studies. You always pay full attention, and that's very good." Nene's smile grew even wider. "Thank you, Lisa." Then, Lisa took a step closer, looking straight into Nene's eyes. "I want you to be my school daughter. I will look after you very well." Nene gasped. Her hands covered her mouth as she stared at Lisa in shock. This was a dream come true. Out of joy, she exclaimed, "You have been my role model in this school." Lisa smiled warmly, and before Nene could stop herself, she hugged Lisa tightly. Lisa hugged her back, and in that moment, Nene felt like the happiest girl in the world. Lisa then walked back to her class while Nene ran as fast as her legs could carry her to find her best friend, Bola. An unsettling reaction. When Nene got to the classroom, she saw Bola sitting quietly at her desk, flipping through her notebook. Nene could barely contain herself. She rushed to Bola and said excitedly, "Guess what? Guess. Guess." Bola looked up, raising an eyebrow. "Tell me. I'm listening." Nene grinned from ear to ear. She took a deep breath and shouted in excitement, "The almighty Lisa asked me to be her school daughter, and I said yes." The classroom went silent for a second. Some students nearby gasped in surprise. Lisa? The Lisa? The smartest and most admired senior in the whole school? Nene clapped her hands together. "Can you believe it? That's every junior student's dream. And I got it so fast. Even you, Bola, my best friend. Everyone wanted you, but you chose me. Am I not the luckiest girl in school?" Nene was smiling, but she didn't notice that Bola's face had changed. At first, Bola forced a smile, but deep inside, something dark started growing in her heart. She wasn't happy. In fact, she felt jealous. At first, she tried to ignore it, but as time passed, she couldn't stop thinking about it. Lisa was giving Nene all her attention. Lisa was helping Nene with her schoolwork. Lisa was spoiling Nene, giving her little gifts and always checking up on her. Every time Nene invited Bola to go and see Lisa, Bola would find an excuse. "I have something to do," she would say. But Lisa always sent Nene back with something for Bola. A nice pen, a cute notebook, even a bar of chocolate. At first, Bola took the gifts and smiled. But in her heart, a question kept repeating itself. What does Lisa see in Nene that I don't have? I am more beautiful, more classy, so why her? A wicked plan. Day by day, Bola's jealousy grew stronger. She didn't like the way Lisa and Nene were so close. She wanted Lisa for herself. She thought and thought, until finally, an idea came to her. A terrible idea. One afternoon, she gathered 3 girls from her class. These girls were known for gossiping and causing trouble. "I need your help," Bola said in a low voice. The girls leaned in, curious. "What is it?" Bola smirked. "We're going to make everyone think that Nene is a thief." The girl's eyes widened. "What?" "Listen," Bola said, lowering her voice. "We will sneak another intelligent girl's book into Nene's bag. Then we'll act like the girl is looking for it. When we search everyone's bag, we will find it inside Nene's. The whole school will call her a thief." The girls covered their mouths in shock. This was wicked, but Bola just smiled. "Once Lisa sees that Nene is a thief, she will leave her. And then, Lisa will be mine." The girls exchanged glances. This was dangerous, but it was also exciting. After a few seconds, they nodded. The plan was set. The setup. The next morning, everything went as planned. One of the girls secretly took an intelligent student's assignment book and sneaked it into Nene's bag. Minutes later, in the middle of the lesson, the girl suddenly shouted, "My assignment book is missing. Who took it?" The class started buzzing. Everyone turned their heads, whispering. Bola stood up and said loudly, "Let's search everyone's bag." Some students nodded in agreement. Yes, let's check." Bola turned to Nene. "We'll start with you." Nene didn't even hesitate. She had nothing to hide. She smiled and handed her bag over. "Go ahead." Bola unzipped the bag slowly. The whole class watched in silence. And then, gasp, Bola pulled out the missing assignment book. The classroom erupted in shock. "Thief! Thief!" students shouted. Nene's smile disappeared. She blinked in confusion. What? That's not mine." Her hands shook as she looked around. "I didn't take it. I swear." But the students weren't listening. "We caught you red-handed. So this is what you've been doing. How could you?" Nene turned to Bola, tears forming in her eyes. "Bola, you believe them, right?" Bola folded her arms and looked away. "I don't know what to say, Nene." Nene's heart broke into a million pieces. Bola wasn't defending her. Bola was letting them believe the lie. Before Nene could say another word, Bola ran out of the class. Where was she going? She was going straight to Lisa, to tell her what had happened. Lisa's shock. Lisa was sitting in class when she saw Bola running towards her from a distance. She frowned. Bola never came looking for her like this. As Bola got closer, Lisa noticed something strange. Why was Nene not with her? Lisa's heart skipped a beat. She stood up quickly and asked, "Bola, where is Nene?" Bola stopped in front of her, breathing heavily, pretending to be out of breath. It's because of Nene that I'm here, Bola said, her voice serious. Lisa's chest tightened. What happened to Nene? She asked, fear creeping into her voice. Bola shook her head dramatically. Lisa, you won't believe what just happened. Lisa grabbed Bola's arms. Tell me. Bola sighed. Nene has been stealing other students' assignment books. She's not as intelligent as we thought. She was caught today. She couldn't return the stolen book on time before the girls started looking for it. Lisa, Nene is a thief. Lisa staggered backward. No, that can't be true. Nene? Stealing? The same Nene who looked up to her? The same Nene who admired her? Lisa didn't want to believe it, but Bola looked so serious. Tears burned in Lisa's eyes. Had she been deceived all this time? She needed to hear from Nene herself. Lisa quickly called a junior student and said, Go and tell Nene to come and see me. Right now. The student nodded and ran off. Nene's heartbreak. After a few minutes, Nene walked into Lisa's class. Her eyes were already red from crying. She could hear students whispering and pointing at her as she walked. Lisa crossed her arms and looked straight at Nene. What is this I'm hearing? Nene froze. Lisa continued, Bola told me what happened. How could you steal assignment books to pass? I saw you as more than this, Nene. Nene's lips trembled. Lisa's words stabbed her heart like a knife. Lisa believed them too. Lisa, the only person she looked up to? Tears rolled down Nene's cheeks. She opened her mouth to speak, but no words came out. Lisa's voice suddenly rose in anger. Nene, answer me. Why did you deceive us? Nene let out a silent sob and dropped her head. She couldn't defend herself. Lisa shook her head and took a deep breath. I don't want to see you again. Stay away from me until we finish school. Nene felt her knees go weak. Lisa turned away, and at that moment, Nene knew she had lost her forever. She walked out of the class crying uncontrollably. A lonely shadow. Days passed. Nene couldn't take the shame. Every time she walked into class, students whispered behind her back, That's the thief. I can't believe Lisa made her a school daughter. She should just leave the school. The words felt like knives in her chest. She stopped sitting in class. Instead, she would go and sit under a big tree alone until school was over. But even that was not enough. The whispers, the stares, the humiliation, it was too much. One day, Nene stopped coming to school. She dropped out. A new friendship. Now that Nene was gone, Bola finally had Lisa all to herself. They became closer than ever. They studied together. They laughed together. They were best friends. They finished school together. They went for national youth service together. Everywhere Lisa went, Bola followed. A handsome stranger. One day during their youth service, Lisa met a handsome young man named Sean. He was tall, dark, and had fine beards. Bola noticed him first, but she thought he was just an ordinary guy with no money. But to her surprise, Sean only had eyes for Lisa. One day, Sean finally walked up to Lisa and spoke to her. Lisa smiled at him. From that moment, they became friends, and soon, they started dating. Bola didn't care at first, until she realized that Sean was rich. After their youth service, Lisa and Bola moved in together as best friends. Lisa and Sean's relationship grew stronger, and one day, Sean told Lisa, I want you to bring Bola on our next date. Lisa was surprised. Sean had never wanted Bola around before. Really? She asked excitedly. Yes, Sean said with a smile. Lisa was so happy. She couldn't wait to tell Bola. The grand dinner. The day of the date came. Lisa and Bola got dressed. Suddenly, a driver arrived to pick them up. Bola's eyes widened. Lisa, your boyfriend has a driver? Lisa laughed. I don't know for sure, but I suspect he's very rich. Bola's mind started working. Sean was rich, and he loved Lisa. That should be her life, not Lisa's. When they arrived at Sean's house, Bola was shocked. It was a mansion. Inside, the dining table was filled with food, fruits, and drinks. As they ate and laughed, Sean suddenly stood up. Then he kneeled. He brought out a small red box and opened it. Inside was a beautiful diamond ring. Sean smiled and said, Lisa, will you marry me? Lisa screamed in excitement. Yes, I will marry you. She jumped into Sean's arms, and everyone clapped. But behind her smile, Bola's heart was burning. That should have been her ring. A sinister plan. Sean and Lisa started planning their wedding. But Bola was busy plotting. One day, Bola asked Lisa, Can I follow you to Sean's house? Lisa smiled. Of course. Get ready, let's go. Bola pretended to be excited, but in her heart, she had a plan. When they got to Sean's house, Bola sneaked into his room. She took his gold chain and hid it in Lisa's bag. As they were about to leave, Sean started looking around. "Where is my gold chain?" he asked. Bola quickly said, "Check Lisa's bag. I think I saw something there." Lisa froze. Sean grabbed Lisa's bag and searched it. And there it was, his gold chain and even his watch. Sean's face turned red with anger. "Lisa, you're a thief." Lisa's heart shattered. She fell on the floor crying. "I swear I didn't take it." Sean shouted, "We are done. No more wedding. Get out." Lisa ran out, sobbing. That night, Bola pretended to comfort Lisa, but later, she went behind her back. She went to Sean. One thing led to another, and they started dating. A shocking ending. Months later, Bola got pregnant and forced Sean to marry her. They had a baby boy, but after a while, Bola changed. She started coming home late. One day, Sean came home and found a note. "Call me when you're home." He called. Bola's voice was cold. "I've left you. The baby is not even yours. His real father is taking us abroad." Sean fell to the floor, screaming, "I am finished."